honestly, uh, this video is gonna be rough. This is definitely not my bedroom. That's not where I sleep. So, definitely, I'm taking this very serious and professional. But I decided that I wanted to make content again, and you know, I haven't really made that much content with my face or whatever like that. It's mostly just gaming and stuff. But I've found a new passion recently that I decided to share with you all, and that passion is light novels. Yes, I'm a weeb. It's true. You're right. It's true. And I've been reading a lot. And the one that I'm going to talk about today, because I feel like who doesn't want to be an anime reviewer, right? Anyway, well, this is an anime, but it is a light novel, and it goes by the name of Bottom Tier Tomozaki. So you can see the cover here. This is just volume one. I've only read this one. I have volume 2 and 3 on the way. So I'm just gonna talk about volume one. Um, well, for one, to preface all this, I have watched the anime that came out, I think 2 seasons ago or something like that. So I do have an idea of the adaptation, which was nice to kind of compare to this. So, I mean, there are like I don't know if it's five, but you usually have your story, art, characters, setting, music, like what, like your review, um, criteria. And well, right now I don't have that, so I'm just gonna talk like an idiot until you decide to like and subscribe. So please do that. So anyway, to get on with it, so I guess like the easiest thing to talk about right away is like the art. So the art is done by, maybe I need a new camera in the future. And I know I look rough too. I'm growing my hair out, but let's talk about this instead. We've got our main, not one of our main characters, Aoi Hinami here, and just to flip through some of the pages, the art's pretty good. I like it. I think it's very like anime-y. Um, it's just it's good. There's a decent amount of pictures, like per words in here. I don't know if that's like a thing light novel readers care about too much. I mean, I feel like the pictures help. Um, they help. I mean, that's their point, right? To help, like help you visualize things that you would not see in a normal book or whatever. Um, and I mean, and they're good. They're all pretty good. I have no complaints about them really. Um, so it's going from there. I guess I'll start talking about the story, or I'll talk about the characters. No, I gotta talk about the story first, dude. I'm all over the place. What if I cut this out? What if I don't? I don't know. But basically, the story, right? We have bottom tier character Tomozaki, as the title suggests. That is what our main character Fumiya Tomozaki refers to himself as, a bottom tier character. So this novel is really, I feel like a lot of the enjoyment um can come from your background knowledge. If you're not a huge like gamer, and particularly, I'll mention the game that they refer to a lot is Super Smash Bros. I mean, I feel like that's one of the most iconic games out there. You have to at least have heard of it. Um, but a lot of the charm of this is seeing how much research and like how much this author actually knows about that game. Because we have our character, or our main character Fumiya Tomozaki is the number one, as they dub it, attack families, or atafami, I think. Atafami, I think that's how you pronounce it. Players in Japan. So he's like a top player. Um, Go stupid, and just the raw detail that this character gives shows that he deserves to be number one. And I mean, that takes a lot from a writer's perspective to be able to portray that well, not just, oh, I won, or oh, I screamed power, or I screamed loud enough and I won and got mustered up the courage and power. But it literally shows that Fumiya has put in time to master his like craft and technique of being this like number one gamer in Japan. And honestly, this barely like scratches the surface of what the story is about. But I just felt like that was a really good touch to what this author is trying to do with this story, and I felt the need to mention it. But what the story is about is this guy, Fumio Tomozaki, ends up, playing the second best player in Japan, um, which he mentions he rarely paid attention to, but their usernames were similar. They both meant like no name or blank, that cool sort of thing. And so he very like slightly paid attention. And one day they matched up online and played, in which Fumiya won, but they decided to meet up. Um, and this is kind of where your story begins. Um, I feel like I'm not sure if I wasn't sure how I should talk about spoilers. If I should do spoiler warnings, stuff like that. So I think for now, I'll, I mean, especially since it was volume one, like at the beginning, I'll talk through spoilers, but maybe not in the future. Series dependent, we'll see. But our main character here, um, they when they end up meeting up, he finds out, how funnily enough, that the second best player in Japan is actually a girl that goes to his school. But the thing about that is they're meeting, in which as he knows the girl from the school, not really, but he knows her to be this nice, wonderful, beautiful girl. But the way she talks to him at the first meeting is pretty nasty. Um, and she goes on to explain how she just can't respect the fact that she loses to someone who, as you are portrayed throughout the story, of someone who doesn't do anything outside of the game. Fumiya resides himself to be a bottom tier character in the game of life, and that's where we hit a lot of the story. Here is that you know life becomes a game, and he feels like he was started with poor attributes. He is ugly, not very tall, not athletic, and he feels like all of that was a roll of the dice that he just lost at birth. And that's why he viewed life as a rather terrible game. And he made a point to say that, but he's countered when Aoi Hinami, our supporting main character, I would say, or maybe just supporting character. I don't know what you would call it, FMC. I don't know. However, but she says, that he's wrong, and he challenges that way of thinking by saying, "Look, you may think I'm a top tier character," which Fumiya admits, um, thinking that she was born with high specs and was made out to be good at the game of life. But throughout this volume, he learns that that's not the case. That she actually worked really hard um, to get to that point, and that was the kind of disappointment that she originally had with him, was that he, to get to reach the top of the game, like I kind of mentioned before, the author portrays how much effort he puts in to be the best just by the way he talks about the game, the way he explains the game, showing how much he knows, how much he researched. I mean, he even ends up teaching another classmate of his about the game, and even and then we see how much dedication he's put towards the game, yet he put none of that effort towards the game of life. And she was trying to show him that before you could even call life a terrible game, you had to play it right first. And I felt like, I think this story is, I wouldn't call it all too unique. It we've kind of I've kind of seen this, idea of a neat sort of main character being shown the world by, an FMC. But I think it's done really well in the sense that he, the author makes it really real by, inserting, similar things, attack families, things that we know. I think the author makes it not only really real, but also just the dialogue between the characters throughout the story. It's far fetched, but also it also can be seen to be like, man, if I was in a situation, maybe like these thoughts would occur. I feel like we are constantly seeing, in this volume anyway, Fumiya's mind being changed and his thoughts being overwritten or challenged, which I thought was really good. To see, a character with values, usually in these anime, usually in manga, things like that, we see, you know, my ninja way, or my beliefs. I'm gonna do this. I'm hard-headed, stubborn. Do my beliefs. But we're constantly seeing him turn into just absolutely hating what he calls the game of life, and believing it's unfair, believing it's terribly designed. But Aoi opens his mind to something else, and that's it's honestly very human. um Along with showing, and this is kind of diving a little bit away from the story because I feel like that's most of this story for the first volume. um and we kind of start to see, through the characters, we see small minute changes within him. His desires change, his thoughts change, and even through like dialogue, I mean, we just see very human things. um she's working to help him become more integrated and normal, quote unquote, in society. Because he's a loner who can't communicate, and we even see him mess up in the process. He goes out of his way to talk to people that he's never even tried to speak to before, never even imagined speaking to him, and we see him do it, and we see him fail. We see him think about his failures. We see him analyze them, and it's just overall very human experience to see someone um, struggle with an aspect of life that others may find easy or natural. And I mean, I've said it too many times, so I want to try to use a different word. But it just it really makes you feel what he's feeling, and really understand our character, our main character, just a little bit more. I mean, it's pretty funny too. There's funny moments where he'll just say things other characters, notably being funny. I don't really know how much I want to spoil, so I'm kind of just resigning to talking about the first two characters. Um, so yeah, I honestly, I gotta say, this first volume definitely did its job of making me want to see how our main character develops. I feel like that is a huge, selling point for a lot of, just media enjoyers in general. But personally, me, I really love to see progression. I love time, and I love character development. Those are like some of my favorite things within, and usually time brings upon development, which are two of like my favorite things that come from a series. And I was actually just reading Classroom of the Elite, which I might make videos on. I was just reading that, in which the author says, like in the post word, that his editor really enjoyed the story because time was always moving. And I feel like time will move in this, and I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see how our character continues to change the way he looks at himself. He looks at himself as his bottom tier character, as this character that he rolled the dice, and unfortunately, um you know his face just wasn't right, his height just wasn't right, and he is going to change the way he sees himself. And I feel like that is a lesson that can be given to a lot of us. that think life is unfair or feel helpless or hopeless. And it's a really good message that's portrayed in this short. It's not long, like a bit over 200 pages, um, of good, like, fun. Honestly, it's very fun to see the characters interact as well. It's very fun to see him stumble about and figure out what it means to be a normal teenager because he doesn't know. Um, so yeah, that's my honest opinions on this. I didn't have a script, if you couldn't tell. I said a lot. No, I'm not gonna lie and say a couple times. I said it a lot, so I'll try and change it. I'll try and fix it. Um, when I make more videos. But yeah, if you made it this far in the review, I mean, thank you for sticking around. Definitely still don't be intrigued by me filming in my studio because I'm not in my room. Um, but yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you give this series a chance. I mean, I personally enjoy the anime a lot, and I'm looking forward to reading, what have potentially maybe been different, different pacing and stuff like that. I've noticed differently that, his thoughts are a little more clear and a little more mature in this light novel than compared to the anime, which, maybe I don't know why that may have been, but that's just the feeling that I get. But we'll see. I'll make more videos on it as I continue to read and continue to experience. And yeah, so thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate the support. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see some more of these. I mean, this is nothing that I've really done before, so I'd actually really appreciate like feedback on this. Any ways I can improve this. I mean, I will definitely be like checking out other people that review stuff and kind of get some ideas. But yeah, I mean, thank you all for spending your time listening to what I have to say, and hopefully you care about me enough to watch another video. But yeah, thank you all, and I'll see you in the next one.